Almost all the water on the planet has been here since the Earth was formed. In fact, it's the same water that dinosaurs drank and cavemen drank. Imagine the water that you're drinking today was once dinosaur spit. Oh!
Unfortunately, humans cannot survive without water, and there's no substitute for it. But how do we build a world without enough of this precious resource? Hi, I'm Steven. Welcome to the Harvest Lab.
There are 326 trillion gallons of water on Earth. In fact, this 10-gallon tank represents all of that water.
Now, it may seem like we have an abundance of water due to the fact that the Earth is covered with it, but 97% of that water is salt water, 2% is frozen at the ice caps, which only leaves 1% for all humans to live off of.
This 12.8-ounce cup represents that 1% of water. Sadly, we don't even get to use it because it is tied up mostly in groundwater. That means the water that we are surviving on comes from our lakes and streams.
Today, there are about 7.76 billion people on Earth, all needing this precious resource to survive. Drinking water, washing our hands, showering, even flushing the toilet only accounts for 8% of our water usage everyone uses each year. 70% of that water is used for agriculture, and 22% is used for the green industry, such as chemical lawn care and commercial landscape maintenance. I'm Max Moreno, Vice President of Water Conservation. We here at Harvest are part of that 22% industry usage, but no longer are we just focused on irrigation. We are focusing on water conservation through water management practices. We gather information from plant species to irrigation uniformity, soil types, exposure, and we come up with a sustainable plan to help the landscape. We are focused on providing sustainable landscape solutions that help our clients move in the direction of water management.
We had hail in Santa Clarita today. Other areas got some rain, but we need a lot more than that to put a dent in the drought. Right now, we are facing our worst drought, in fact, in centuries.
In California, our governor has issued an executive order limiting our water use due to the Megadrought.
Scientists at UCLA studied what they are calling our Megadrought. Researchers looked at thousands of tree rings from Oregon to New Mexico to study soil moisture levels dating back to the year 800. They found that the drought we are currently in is the worst in 1,200 years. And if history repeats itself, things could get worse before they get better.
The Megadrought is here, but this has been something we've been practicing. Our job as a landscape expert is to educate our customers so that way you guys know what to do to be prepared for this drought. Here at Harvest, we know how to use all the latest technologies in irrigation management. We have the team and the resources to effectively and efficiently manage the irrigation system and the water on all properties. You got to realize that you guys are using irrigation every day. You have sprinklers that are operating every day. The goal is to make your system as efficient as possible. You only allocated so much water to be used in that property. What you want to make sure you're doing is using the right amount of water for the plant material you have. Every plant you have on your property has a crop coefficiency. That's a designated amount of water that plant needs. Just by cutting the waste out of the water that's just going down the drain, you will start to save water. And how you do it is first evaluate the irrigation system. Start to eliminate poor irrigation and install drip irrigation. Even with a perfect sprinkler system, you're only going to be 75, maybe 65 to 75 efficient, meaning that 65% of that water that you're spraying out of the sprinkler head is actually going into that plant. With drip irrigation, you could be anywhere between 90 to 95% inefficient, meaning that 10 gallons of water, 9.5 gallons of that water is going into the ground and going to that plant. The biggest water savings you're going to see is removing turf. We like to break up turf into two categories, passive and active. Obviously, the active turf areas you want to leave, those are the areas where people take their dogs or the kids play on, but the passive areas are the little strips of grass that are next to little planter beds. Start to eliminate those areas. Those areas are waste. We also have a situation when you have mixed use valve. Mixed use valve is when you have an irrigation zone that waters shrubs or plant material and turf. Eliminate the turf. What you're forcing to do is you're forcing to overwater all those shrub beds because you have this patch of turf. Turf is the highest water consuming plant there is. If you mix that on the same zone as shrubs, you're actually overwatering. Most people don't realize that 75% of most plant death is related to overwatering. Insects, disease, all these things are actually secondary in nature and usually are a result of overwatering. And the plant becomes overwatered, it gets saturated, the roots can't grow, they can't establish themselves, basically suffocate themselves sitting in water. What happens is the plant then becomes stressed, insects, disease, pathogens come along and actually can easily attack that sickened and weakened plant. A lot of people think the fix is, let's replace all this and put cactus. That's not what you need. A lot of the common shrubs, common plant material you have out there with Rhaphileptis, Pittosporum, some of the stuff you guys see every day, these are somewhat drought tolerant. It's when you mix those with turf or you mix them with other shallow rooted plants, you're forcing to overwater those plants, and actually you're shortening the lifespan of those plants. So one, manage the irrigation system effectively, making sure that you're putting the right amount of water down for each plant. Two, change out sprinkler heads to drip irrigation where you can. And obviously the most important is tackle all those turf areas that are unneeded. Removing those turf areas alone will save you up to 50 to 60% of your water right away. Turf is becoming a luxury in California, meaning that you're going to be paying taxes or paying higher rates just to keep that turf. Attacking these turf areas is effectively going to reduce your water consumption over a long period of time.
These experts say conservation remains key.
In October, Governor Gavin Newsom declared a drought emergency and asked Californians to voluntarily decrease their water usage by 15%. Experts say it would take multiple wet years, though, to get us out of this drought.
Each one of us can make a difference, but together, we can make a change.
Let's save water together.